Mental health is the number one driver of disability worldwide. In England alone, 1 in 4 people will experience some kind of mental health issue this year. My name's Tor, and my idea worth spreading is why your mental fitness is even more important than your physical fitness, because you'd have a physical exercise routine for your body. So why would you not have an exercise routine for your mind? Now, I was diagnosed with social anxiety at just the age of 16. And what that meant was I didn't enjoy social situations. I could never dream of public speaking. And the thought of being around a lot of people, a big group of people, made me very uncomfortable, very anxious, nervous. So I did what I was told, which was to go to have counseling, where you sit down one-on-one with somebody to discuss the issues that you're facing. But for me, it wasn't really working. I wasn't really feeling it. So I took it upon myself to understand different techniques that people had used from around the world to improve their mindset and their mental well-being. And I started to apply some techniques, and then I kept applying them and kept applying them. And I didn't see a change in the first week or even the first month or the first year. But over time, it began to compound. And if you fast forward to present day, 10 years later, I have spoken at some of the world's largest institutions, such as Oxford and Cambridge University, and I've worked at some of the world's largest companies, such as Google, and all of that was down to mental fitness. The first thing I had to understand was about the subconscious mind. This is the unconscious part of your brain that accounts for 90 to 95% of your experience of this reality. It takes in information from the world around you, everything that's happening for your 5 senses, touch, taste, sound, sight, and smell. And it uses that information to determine how you should respond to things in your environment. That's why if ever you were to reach your hand out to fire, you'll pull it back out of fear of being burned, because your subconscious mind kicks in to say fire is danger. Now, on the surface, this is a very good thing because it gives you a survival instinct, something to use so that you know how to keep safe. But your subconscious mind runs on autopilot 24/7, 365, which means that if you're not the person in control of your subconscious mind and what it's taking in, then somebody else will be controlling it for you. So in the same way that you'd have a physical diet that can consist of junk food that's damaging for your body in the long run, or healthy food that is nutritious for your body in the long run, you'd also have a mental diet that can consist of the things that you watch, listen to, people you hang around, and that could be junk information that's damaging your mental state in the long run, or uplifting information that's boosting your mental state in the long run. Now, I'm not saying you have to read a dictionary every day or anything like that. That sounds more like mental torture, to be honest, than mental health. But you get the gist. You want to be doing things that's going to proactively uplift your mental state rather than lower it. Now, in the same vein, if you wanted to build your physical strength, you'd build muscle by putting your body under more resistance, by lifting more weights, for example. But if you wanted to build mental strength, you'd put your mind under more resistance. And the way that you lift more weights mentally is by doing more and more challenging mental exercises that are going to stretch your mental capacity. Now, that's exactly what I spent the past 10 years doing. And what I'm about to do now is walk you through some of the mental exercises that I've taken on, the science behind them, how they've benefited me, and how you could incorporate them into your own fitness routine. Starting with something very simple: meditation. About 200 to 500 million people are estimated to meditate worldwide. And there's a lot of misconception about what meditation actually is. But from my perspective, it's merely the practice of observing your thoughts without any judgment. You don't need to go anywhere to meditate. You don't need to light any candles. You do not need to make any chanting noises. You don't need to do any of that. You just need to practice breathing in and breathing out, and that would be you meditating. Simple. Now, meditation is a very easy thing to get started, but there's some science behind it. Studies have shown that meditation has both psychological and cardiovascular benefits for adults with mild to moderate anxiety. That's why it was one of the first things that helped me dealing with social anxiety back when I started doing meditation. But also, meditation has been found to increase telomerase, which can help delay onset of diseases like Alzheimer's by up to 43%. Now, what that means is that meditation can not only just cure any anxious feelings you may be getting in one instance, but it can also prevent future diseases from arising in your mental. Now, meditation is a very easy thing to get started. You could practice for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes max a day to get started, and you can incorporate it into your daily routine fairly easily. I believe it's a beginner level mental fitness exercise, and that every single person who wants to understand mental fitness needs to start from here. Because understanding how to control your breath and breath work in general is going to be the foundation for all mental fitness activities going forwards. Meditation is the perfect way to start that. Once you've got a good grasp of how to meditate, then you can move on to other things like affirmations. Now, affirmations are the practice of positive reinforcing statements that will replace any negative statements that you have going on in your subconscious mind. For example, you want your mind to be saying things like, I am happy, I am healthy, I am strong, I am well, I am aware, I am confident. All of these kind of things you want it to be doing, rather than thinking of negative statements all the time. Now, you got to get it in the habit of repeating those statements the same way in the gym you get in the habit of repeating lifting a weight. The repetitions are what's going to leave an imprint in your mind over time. But again, there's a science to it. Epton and Harris did a study in 2008 that showed that by giving their test subjects affirmations to work through, they were able to encourage them to improve their diet by eating more fruit and vegetables. And affirmations have also been shown to help us perceive threatening messages with less resistance. For example, some people may see something like going to start a business as a threat or as a risk because it pushes you out of your comfort zone. It moves you away from your daily routine, what you know, what your mind is familiar with. So your mind perceives that as a threat to our survival. However, if you can reframe your mindset and your way of thinking about it, you can start to see starting a business as a positive thing. And affirmations can go a long way towards doing that by helping you think and rewire your brain in that way. Now, again, affirmations are super easy to get started on. I would give this a 2-star rating on the difficulty scale and say that anyone who wants to get a little bit better at the idea of mental exercise, this is where you need to go. For me, I used to do audio affirmations, which is where I would speak, I am happy, I am healthy, I am wise, into a phone, record it, and then play it back to myself on headphones later on while I'm meditating. So I would kill 2 birds with 1 stone by combining meditation and affirmation in one. Something that's not so easy as a mental fitness exercise is having a cold shower. And it's especially not easy if you pour the water directly on your face and go in fully dressed. That much is for certain. Would never recommend that. But having a shower in water temperature below 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 degrees centigrade is extremely mentally challenging. Some people may see it as a physical challenge, and it does have physical benefits, such as having a cold shower for 5 minutes 2 to 3 times a week can help relieve the symptoms of depression. But also the effect of cold water on the bloodstream can actually help fight infection. There was a study done in the Netherlands in 2016 which showed that people who took cold showers called out of work less than people who didn't. All that being said, a cold shower is a fantastic mental challenge because the biggest challenge and the biggest obstacle comes before you get in the shower. Your mind is going to play so many tricks on you before you get in that shower every single time. It's going to convince you that we can just turn the water down. Nobody will know. It will just be our secret. Nobody will know if we have a hot shower instead of a cold one. Let's just do it. Let's just keep warm. Because your mind seeks comfort. But your goal through mental fitness and mental exercise is to put your mind under resistance, to seek out discomfort, because that's how you're going to build a stronger mental state. So you need to fight that self-talk every single time. Because that same self-talk that your mind gives you before getting in a cold shower is the same self-talk it's going to give you before you start a business, before you start a new hobby, before you start doing something you've never done before. That's the self-talk that your mind gives to try and get you out of changing routine. You need to get your mind used to changing routine and putting yourself through it. Now, that being said, I would still give a cold shower a 4-star difficulty rating. This is one of the most challenging mental exercises you can do. I have them about 3 or 4 times a week, and I can tell you that the cold never gets any less cold. That much is for certain. So it's definitely a challenge that you can push yourself through and get used to the idea of doing a cold shower. Another one that's a good physical exercise as well as a mental exercise is fasting. This is going a prolonged period without food, in some cases food or water. So you can have an intermittent fast, which is at least 14 hours without any food, or you can have a water fast, which is 24 hours without any food, or a dry fast, which is 24 hours without any food or water. Now, with this kind of exercise, again, there's scientific benefits. There was a study of 4,000 plus people which showed that fasting can help reduce coronary artery disease, as well as have a significantly lower risk of diabetes. Plus, another study done in 11 healthy adults showed that it can help promote human growth hormone, which can also help with muscle growth. But generally speaking, the idea of fasting is pushing your mind through that barrier of when you start to get hunger pains. You don't actually need to go any fixed time period without food. Some people can fast for 7 days, 14 days. Some people are fasting longer than that. So doing a 24-hour fast is no big challenge. But your body will convince you that it is. Your body will tell you again and again, we are hungry, let's eat, we need to eat, we need to eat. And yes, it is very difficult to fast on a day when you've got a lot of activities going on. I tend to do fast on days when I've got nothing going on. So I'm relaxed and I'm not burning too much energy or too many calories. The most I've done is a 36-hour water fast myself. But that being said, it's something that your mind will always try and pull you back to, is to try and eat, even if you're doing it for a shorter period than that. My mind is so used to the idea of fasting that it gets used to the idea that Tor is going to push through. Tor is going to find a way to go without eating. So it starts to work with me rather than against me. And that is exactly where you want to get your mind to, the point where it works with you to get through the mental challenge rather than against you. Because again, that will apply to other areas of your life. Now, fasting, I would give a 4-star again. I'd say it's a difficult challenge. When you first do it, over time, it gets a bit easier. I'd say it's about a 3-star difficulty for me now, but someone just starting out, it will be one of the most challenging things you've ever done. But the most challenging thing that I've ever done in terms of my mental fitness was a dopamine detox. This is ceasing all activity that can cause a spike in dopamine for a fixed time period, usually 24 hours. But what's dopamine? Well, dopamine is known as the reward hormone or the feel-good hormone. This is the thing that makes you feel good when you do some kind of activity that you like eating chocolate, watching your favorite TV show, playing sports, speaking to friends, exercising. That feel-good feeling you get is called dopamine. So, in order to detox from that, you would deny yourself from any technology, any food, any exercise, any socializing, any reading books, any listening to music, anything. You deprive yourself of anything. You would just have you and your thoughts all alone. Scary. Now, there is no scientific benefit to doing this exercise. This is purely a mental challenge to see how long you can go, just you and your thoughts. How long could you last just you and your thoughts and nothing else? When JFK was asked why the US chose to go to the moon, he said, "We choose to go to the moon not because it's easy, but because it is hard." That is the exact reason why you do this kind of mental exercise. And that's the exact reason why you do any mental exercise, because it is hard, because it is a challenge, because you want to push yourself, not because you want ease and convenience. You want to push your mind to get to the next level and keep growing and developing over time. Now, that being said, I managed to last just 5 hours doing a dopamine detox before I nearly lost my mind. So it's really challenging. But I became a lot more aware of my distractions. And I was just really grateful to be able to do things. The thought of being able to read or just listen to music felt so much better, knowing what it's like to not have those things. So I would say that this is the most challenging thing that most people are ever going to do in their lifetime in terms of mental challenges. This is a 5-star difficulty. I would not recommend you start with this. It's a veteran level exercise and you have to work your way up to it over time. If you are looking to start out with mental fitness and start with challenges, what I would recommend for you is to take one mental fitness activity that you're going to do within the next 30 days. If it's something like a cold shower, you want to try and do it as many times within the 30 days as you can. Or if it's a fast or dopamine detox type thing, you want to do that once within a 30-day period, and make sure you do your research to make sure there's no health risks associated for you, because everybody is different. Once you've done your mental fitness activity, I want you to share in the comments how it's gone for you. And it doesn't have to be one that I've shown. It can be any activity that you want to push yourself to, because I'm looking to incorporate mental fitness into the education system in the coming years. And in order to do that, we need as many cases as possible of benefits from around the world that people have seen. So if you've done it, please share it. And on that note, I'd like to say thank you for coming to my talk.